Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm attorney Michael Eline, and I am a California and Texas lawyer, and I have the American Texan Ryan on the show with me tonight. He is a retired whistleblower cop, and we're going to talk tonight about one of my buddies, BzWatchDog, who got arrested on an easement. Now, there's still a wobbler on whether or not it's a private or public easement, I think, but we're going to find out soon enough. But we're going to talk about the law of private and public easement, and we're going to play some of the clips from BzWatchDog's arrest, and we're going to talk about it. But more than anything, I wanted to be able to talk to you all about, picking your battles wisely, because in this case, he's got like a $500 fine. But in order to win a case like that handily, it would require so much money and expert witnesses. Like normally I would have to pay somebody like Ryan a retainer of about $2,000 or more, and usually pay them at the low end $300 an hour, at the high end around $5. In a case where you're not going to get any money other than get a not guilty. So I wanted to go over some stuff with y'all so you can understand what you're getting into when you get into this auditing game. And then, but first I want to introduce you guys to Ryan. Ryan has been on my show before where we talked about Chili DeCastro's false arrests and the crime scene tape arrest. And he called it all the way down the line that Chili was going to get his charges dropped. And he even called it about winning the appeal. And this is a guy who is not a lawyer, but being a cop and knowing how the system works. So go ahead, introduce yourself, brother, and tell the audience about yourself. What's going on with you?
Hey, how y'all doing? I am the American Texan. I'm Ryan. So I retired. I did law enforcement in Texas and Virginia. I retired. I blew my knee out. There's nothing left of my knee. And I spent the last 4 years trying to figure out where I'm going. And luckily, I had a smart-ass comment for this lawyer online, and he called me. And now, somehow, I've wound up talking to you guys about how to stay out of trouble, I guess, really is what I want to do. And I want to hold cops accountable when they're not doing what they're supposed to do. And I'll call them out right here with y'all if you'll allow me, and I appreciate you inviting me on.
Okay, cool. So, by the way, happy Veterans Day, everybody, and Let's OTVO and Brick Jonesy, thanks for showing up. I be trolling, and Chevy, good seeing you, Chevy. And by the way, Chevy, thanks for the super chats last night. Happy Marine Corps birthday. I'll show you before we start the show a little clip of my favorite clip of the Marine Corps birthday. Last night, I celebrated with my Marine Corps brothers at the Leathernecks Motorcycle Club over at the Leatherneck Bar and Historical Museum. And it was really nice. And I ran into a 3-time Purple Heart winner with a couple of combat badges. Cars, combat action ribbons.
Was that the guy with the
Yeah. I didn't believe it or not, I got the new iPhone 16. Man, the freaking audio is pretty damn good because I couldn't hear a damn thing when I was talking to people. Holy crap, Chevy. I didn't expect that. Thank you, Chevy.
It came out pretty good, though.
Look at that. Chevy just hooked me up with a $50 super chat, bro. I mean, that's insane.
Chevy's the man, always coming through.
Man, Chevy, dude.
At least now your wife won't be mad at you for doing this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She hates it. She hates it when I do those events too, especially like when I go to those bars, because she doesn't want me drinking, and she knows that women throw themselves at me.
I mean, it's hard being a leatherneck.
Yeah. Well, especially when they find out I'm a lawyer, because they automatically smell money.
No, so, yeah.
Just
tell them you're not that kind of lawyer.
It doesn't matter, man. Women just can smell bad women can smell a market a mile away. Give me a bunch of ones if you guys agree. But yeah, she knows better too. She knows that I wouldn't risk it, but still, she just, more than anything. Okay, we lost Ryan for a minute, but he'll be back. More than anything, she just doesn't want me around a bunch of people drinking, because she knows my background is a carouser and a brawler that could cause trouble for us.
Sorry, that was my fault.
It's all right. Hey, F, what's going on, buddy? Now, by the way, guys, I want to give you in the sidebar again my Yahoo, because a lot of people last time said they were going to email me, and I didn't get any emails. So I'm thinking you guys got my email address wrong, and I lost one of my guys who apparently I was supposed to reach out to some dude, and I didn't, and I don't remember. Honestly, I don't. Shock Prof. So wherever you are, Shock Prof. I mean, this is I just dropped it again. This circle of legal trust at yahoo.com. I don't check it like every day religiously, but if you shoot out to me, I'll respond, brother. Last thing I want to do is alienate somebody who supports the republic. I'm all about the constitutional republic, and if I don't want to piss anybody off or lose audience over someone who thinks that I was supposed to call them. So, whatever you guys need, I'll do my best to get back to you that way. But so Ryan, before we start the show off, let me share this video from last night. This is this Marine. He's got man. This is like the real gunny highway from Heartbreak Ridge. Let's check him out.
Yeah, 3 Purple Hearts. I'm going to go over there and try to get a shot of a salad bowl right now. It's not every day you see a historical specimen like that. Holy shit, man. He was there when my dad was there, so. Vietnam, yeah.
Force Recon. Look at the hashtags on his arm there. Like he's got about 10 hashtags. Hash marks.
Thank you, Chevy. I appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, right on, Chevy.
Yeah.
Chevy's always coming through. All right, let me get back over here. Let me get Ryan back up on the screen. Yeah, so Chevy's always coming through, man. So I don't know, that guy looked like, I think he had about 10 hash marks. And so each one of those hash marks is 4 years.
Yeah.
So if I'm right, that's 40 years.
So he probably have been in Korea then.
And he's, well, I think Vietnam, but his dad died in Korea. So
okay.
he was in Nam.
So he's a little younger than that.
But yeah, being a gunny with all those hash marks, he should have been a sergeant major. So that means
he pissed some people off.
Yeah,
he did a great job of it.
Yeah, and Chesty
he's got
Puller
3 Purple Hearts.
Yeah, and I think he had a couple of Bronze Stars with V as well, hidden by his lapel. So
somebody needs to get that man's story down.
Yeah, thank you, Chevy, for supporting me last night. It's always an emotional experience for me to hang out with my Marine Corps brothers, because my dad died from Agent Orange from Vietnam, and we were lied to by our government about the Gulf of Tonkin. That never happened. That was a total lie. Just like they lie to us about everything, and then the for-profit media says that we're conspiracy theorists, but then 30 or 40 years later, they finally have to admit that they lied. And we're finally starting to realize that CNN and PMSNBC, they're all just garbage liars, scum of the earth. And that I'll tell you this again, guys, legacy media is the enemy of the American people. Make no mistake about it. Legacy media is the enemy of the American people. If you want to get real news, watch my show, because I'll tell you how it really is. But they lie about everything. That's right, F. All right, so
hey, real quick, I'm gonna try to connect the chat because it locked me out. I'm on it on another one, but give me a second,
okay.
just in case.
Yeah. And in StreamYard, you go over to the right there and you click and you can watch the people in the chat.
Right. Well, so I usually have it hooked up, but I forgot to sign into StreamYard.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, you can.
So it's got me going through 3 different. That's what happened last time. I was trying to click on it so I could say thanks, Chevy, and then it said it didn't like me that much.
Hey, Jody Shiloh, thanks for joining us. Yeah. So, yeah, man, I had almost 50,000 viewers last night. The problem is I got hit with a bunch of copyright strikes for the music. So I don't even know if the live is up anymore, but I disputed every single one of them, saying it's fair use. It's a historical event. It's the 249th Marine birthday at a the Marine Corps Bar and Museum. It's the West Coast Historic Bar and Museum. I mean, it's an amazing thing. And so, Jody, thank you. And Rami, good seeing you, Rami. Rami's trying to help me improve my look on my video productions. And man, sorry I haven't called you yet, Rami. Because I missed work Friday. I've been playing catch up all day today, and I'm still kind of tired from last night. Hey, Ryan, did you get it squared away?
Back. Yes, sir.
All right. So yeah, I just wanted to show you guys that BzWatchDog's here, and Jeff, good seeing you, Jeff, and Brick, and all my buddies, Riot Hoot, Serious Audits. And again, guys, I gave you my email again. If anybody knows Shock Prof, please tell Shock Prof that I didn't know I was supposed to reach out in my honor as a Marine. If I would have known, or if maybe I was supposed to and I just don't remember, I would have immediately reached out because I care about you guys. I don't want you guys to think that I'm just like some dickhead lawyer. I really work many hours, and the last couple of months I've been having some health problems where I've been in on a scale of 1 to 10 at about a 15, and just really hurting.
All right, well, you and I need to talk about that on a different level then, because that's what I spend most of my time doing.
Yeah, so I've been, but it's therapeutic for me to be able to be here with you guys. So I'm here, and man, Chevy, that was a nice. Thank you for that super chat, bro. That was incredible. And again, guys, if you guys want to help support my channel, get a copy of my ebook about how I became a lawyer with no law degree or undergrad. And super chats always go to the front of the line. Comments always go to the front of the line. And Ryan, I'm just trying to wait for the room to fill up a little bit before we.
No, you're good, bro. You're good.
All right, but
I'm over here trying to answer stuff in the chats.
Yeah, and then F says, do you have conflicting feelings about supporting the military? Well, I'll be honest with you. I have no conflicting feelings about supporting the military because those are my brothers and sisters. I support them. I don't support the institution. When I go and hang out with my Marine brothers, I'm there for them. And when we fight as a unit for each other, and because we're warriors and we were young and I'm idealistic, and we really believed that we were fighting for freedom, and we still believe that. We think that we're fighting for the American people. Holy crap. Chevy again just hit me up. Thank you, Chevy. God dang, Chevy. Thank you. And guys, look, you don't have to be like Chevy and, throw tons of money at me. Just show me some love once in a while. Give me $1.99, buy a copy of my book and give it to someone in your family that you care about, because it's an inspirational story about how I got disabled from the Marines, became an entrepreneur, started a health club business, helped start several health club chains, and got beat up by a West Covina cop when I was a corporate wellness director for Bally's Total Fitness over a parking ticket, and ended up ultimately becoming an attorney with no undergrad or law degree, because that was the impetus. That's what brought that for me forward. And so, we're all blessed with different gifts by God, our creator. And I feel that I was blessed with a good mind. And even though I'm getting older and, I've had quite a few injuries, still pretty sharp. And I want to share my knowledge with you to help keep you out of trouble and help you hold the government accountable. Government accountability operations are what I'm all about. You can see here that I've got a retired policeman here who was also a whistleblower. I have a little bit different view than maybe some other auditors. I don't think that all people are inherently bad because of a career choice that they make. I believe that people, a lot of people join the police because they think that they're going to make the world a better place, like I thought me being a Marine would. And, God loves us all. We're all God's children. And so you judge people by their character, not by their past indiscretions or maybe a bad choice they made. If they're contrite and they realize that they've done things that they shouldn't, for the most part, people like that are worthy of forgiveness. I mean, obviously I think we can all agree on some things that aren't forgivable, like giving children hormones and trying to mutilate their body parts.
I was waiting for you to back up a little, because there are some unforgivable people, and a lot of them are friends with Diddy, and that's all I gotta say.
Yeah, that's right. And that's right. And so, but yeah, that's a good question, F. But we fight for the brotherhood. It's just like the Marine Corps is the closest thing you'll find to the Foreign Legion. It is a true band of brothers, and we serve each other first. The only thing that Marines love more than each other is the corpsmen, the Navy corpsmen. We will kill and die. We will slaughter armies to protect the Navy corpsmen.
And beer.
Yeah, that's just how we are, and that's our doctors. And yeah, so I got to hang out with the Leathernecks Motorcycle Club last night, and I'm still depressed, because I miss my dad so much. But I wouldn't have been a Marine if it wasn't for him. So you can thank him for also my tenacity and drive as a man. He taught me the value of hard work. I learned how to build houses with my bare hands from my father. I can dig the forms. I can lay in the rebar, pour them. I can throw up the sticks. I can do finish framing, plumbing. Every summer I work with a different trade, and every day after school I work with a different subcontractor. He made me come out to the job, and my dad ended up building all the Denny's restaurants in the United States as well as the Winchell's Donuts. He went from as a $2 an hour ditch digger, working his way up to becoming the general manager of construction for CBR Development. So he built all those Denny's and all those Winchell's, and then became a home builder, custom home builder, because my mom left him, and well, for her own reasons. I mean, he was a psychopath from Vietnam, but he worked his way up.
He had his issues.
Yeah, he was messed up. He was messed up from the war. We would be walking along the orange groves in Orange County, and Huey would fly overhead, and he would drop to his knees and start crawling into the orange grove as soon as you hear that. Tuk, 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 tuk. So he definitely had major PTSD. Back then, they didn't know what it was.
Oh, well, they called it, they always called it something else, shell shock or. And
of course, him being a hardcore Christian, he didn't believe in any of that. That's bullshit. Real men don't buy into that crap. So instead, he just, was on, painkillers all his life, and even worse, right?
Yeah.
Just but
I don't know. I had to go to some let's call it therapy, just so I would take painkillers, because there's that stigma around them, especially when you're in law enforcement. And I blew my knee out.
Yeah.
And there are those guys that do get hooked. It's a real thing. So I had to go to therapy.
You can't go poop.
I wouldn't take anything.
And you can't go poop, right, with those painkillers. Like, they make you constipated.
I just don't. I've never had a problem with that.
Hey, by the way, guys, thank you, Shock Prof, for showing up. Hopefully you forgive me. Honestly, I don't even know that I was supposed to reach out, but I wouldn't put it past me for saying that I would. But you got my email at circleoflegaltrust@yahoo.com, and I'll do whatever I can to help you, man. That's what I'm all about, is helping people. I'm not an egomaniac lawyer. I've made millions, I've lost millions, but my heart is always with the Marine Corps and with the Constitution and the Republic, more natural law. My heart is with people who believe in freedom and liberty above all else. And me being a lawyer was just a vehicle for me to be able to help other people who support the same ideas and beliefs that I have. And that's why most of my clients are Marines who were in motorcycle accidents. I just happen to have become one of the best personal injury attorneys in California, because the only people who would let me work under them when I was studying law were personal injury attorneys. So I became really good at it. But my heart has always been in civil rights and government accountability, because, again, I was beat up by a bad cop over a parking ticket. So I wanted, and then I sued him after he charged me with obstruction, resisting, delaying under 148 Penal Code, California. And I got that charge dropped, and ultimately turned around and sued him and got like $29,999. Back then, I mean, that'd be like $100,000 today.
Yeah, I was about to say, how long ago was that? 20 years?
I think it was like 96, man.
God, yeah. That was like 100, 150.
Yeah, and that was, and so that a lawyer told me about a way you could become a lawyer on this law study program. I didn't believe it, but I did it, and I passed that baby bar, which was like less than an 18% pass. And then I became an attorney like 4 years or 3 years later.
I know. I'm gonna do this. Can I do that in Texas?
Yeah, well, no, but you can study under me in California if you want to. I got 2 slots open.
Yeah, but the problem is there's California.
Yeah, well, you only have to practice law for like 5 years and you can get waived into Texas. That's what I did.
Oh,
Yeah, I waited longer, but I waived in. I just took like a little exam to make sure, I got a lot of experience, man. I've won over $200 million in verdicts and settlements, and I've got a ton of experience as an appellate attorney. And that's truly my love is appellate law. And I have Alan Beck, one of the best appellate civil rights lawyers, Second Amendment rights lawyers in the country, on my team. And so, and I surround myself with people who are better than me, Ryan. Go ahead, man.
Is that okay? So there's one guy in California I've heard of, and I've never seen him. I've never seen his name. I've seen his name somewhere. I can't remember who he is, but he used to work for the ATF, and he's been going around and helping people out because of some of the ATF laws and the way they're written. Like what is a firearm, and then people like where's the serial number, and what really is part of the lower for an AR-15 is it really a gun? So when there's no that guy.
Well, hopefully, with the new cases that have come out, thanks to Trump's justices.
Yes, absolutely.
We wouldn't have the concealed carry is off the chain because of him. And
no, did you hear what he said just yesterday?
I heard about it, but I'm saying like the cases that Alan and I have worked on.
Right.
Alan opened up Hawaii to concealed carry because of Trump's justices.
Dude, it's so amazing because they were getting shafted. Them in New York.
Yeah. I mean, all the states with no voter ID still go Democrat, but once they get voter ID, for some reason, all of a sudden they start supporting freedom. So
yeah, funny how that happens, right?
Yeah, maybe we'll get some voter ID laws, and these communists will stop trying to take away our right to defend our families and trying to blame it on other people.
Whenever California can get rid of Newsom, he's the America's version of Trudeau.
Yeah, Beck. Yeah, IB Trolling says Beck. Yeah. And IB Trolling has some good thing. IB Trolling says that Republican SCOTUS screws us all. I'm a little more, look, what they did for the Second Amendment.
I know it's gone. They went back and forth last year or within the last year. It really was.
I'm more of a single issue voter. I'm a Second Amendment guy. The bottom line is if I have my magazines with enough rounds and I got my firearms, I'm good.
As long as you have the second, you can have the rest of them.
Yeah, I'm just more concerned about being able to defend my wife and kids. That's your primary job. If you look after your own unit, you don't need to dip into the public till. You don't need the social safety net. You develop parallel systems, which I'm trying to teach you guys to do with me, where we all help each other. And then we don't need to be part of this administrative state bureaucracy. If somebody wants to buy gold, if I sell gold, I'll sell you gold. If somebody has an organic farm, I'll buy your organic dairy. I'm telling you guys, that's how we do it. That's how Martin Luther King Jr. Did it. He boycotted those shops and developed parallel systems. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all to do. But yeah, Rami, I agree with a lot of stuff you guys say. Look, I'm a libertarian. I don't support either party. I think they're both really corrupt, but I am just happy with those justices and their Second Amendment because it helped me and several other Second Amendment rights lawyers take back our rights. But so Ryan, real quick, man, let's get into the show now.
All right, let's go.
We saw BzWatchDog get arrested, and
you got that video. You got to watch it.
I did get to, but let's go ahead and watch it really quick for the audience so they can see what happened to him. Let me see if I can get this bad chicken up on the screen. And then I also have a bunch of other ones too, because his isn't that long we'll talk about, but we'll break down his story first. And but basically, just so people know, like an example of an easement would be like, let's say you have a house, but in order to get zoned to build a housing tract, and I know this from growing up in construction with my dad, we would have to put all the improvements in, like, the sewer, the electrical lines in order to get permitted. And so I learned a lot about easements. You'd have to build a sidewalk, right? So because if you don't have a sidewalk, if the woman's pushing her baby around, she's going to get run over if she's in the street. So the idea is we'd have to put in the curbs, we'd have to put in the sewage, the rain gutters, have to do all that stuff. The developer pays for that crap. And the homeowner is part of the contract has to agree to an easement that the city will have an easement to put that sidewalk in. So, but where Ryan's expertise is going to come into play here is because he was a Texas cop, and this is a Texas case. He's going to talk about making arrests on private and public easements. And this has some interplay as well, because me being a lawyer, I would have to hire an expert witness like him to defend a case like BZ's case. So even though BZ's case might only be a $500 fine, if he really wants to win, just like Chili DeCastro, right? Remember, those were a couple misdemeanors. And in order for him to win, he had to spend like what, $30,000 or $40,000 to go all the way to
6 months in prison.
And was it 4 months? I think it was 4 months.
Oh, is it only 4? Okay.
Four
is 4 more than I want to spend.
Man, 1 day in jail is too much.
Right.
But yeah, man. But the bottom line is, yeah, that's the deal. That's the easement. And so Ryan's going to tell us what he knows. And then, I'm going to tell you what I know about him. I'll read the law to you, but let's go ahead and watch this arrest and see what happened here. And then Ryan, I'm going to let you kind of narrate what's happening. Let's go.
Yes, sir.
You guys got to remember, they called the cops. I'm not going to run.
All right. Go ahead.
By running, I look
so I
guilty,
can set it up.
and they're going to believe everything these guys tell them. Is that a crime? Unwanted touching of a public utility box? Might be.
Pretty good.
All right, Mike, pause it real quick.
All right, stand by. So that looks like a house, like a private house.
So usually they're the boxes, right? Texas is real big for them. All the private little communities we have. There'll be a guy with, he's probably got a GED. I mean, some kind of education, and he sits there and allows vehicles to go into the subdivision.
Into a what?
Into the subdivision, right?
Subdivision. So okay, got it.
Yeah, that's just a little box, right there with the arms, like.
Oh yeah, like a guard tower or whatever.
Like a guard, exactly.
Guard
and
shack.
so BZ was there to pick up somebody for an Uber. Somebody needed to go somewhere.
Well, that's right.
So
he drives an Uber.
On business. Yeah. And so he got there and he had talked to the guy, and apparently the guy told him, go F off. And so BZ said, and then he says, you know what, I'm calling the cops. Calls the cops on BZ. So BZ's like, I'm not going to leave. He explains this, and he parks over to the side. So go ahead.
All right, here we go. By the way, that looks like vinyl sliding doors that you would see on like a cheap residential home.
It's the exact same kind.
All right.
It's Fort Worth, Pete. I like that one. That's good. I call him Fort Worthless. You can touch my secret box. Oh, they're showing up right there. Here we go. They showed up.
Pretty quick. Got to get that Uber driver, right? Jiminy Christmas, man.
So it kind of makes
make
me
sure your
wonder
body
who lives
camera's
in
on,
that
officer.
neighborhood.
Hold on, I'm going to go ahead and talk, man.
Look, so because he hasn't done anything violent, he doesn't have any weapons, nothing's going on. It makes me think, who lives in that neighborhood?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's strictly because I worked the elected official that I worked for in Texas would have us do stuff like, we would call it's called official oppression, but there's somebody that's always available for that community.
Got it. Like it could be like a government official or
that's where all the conservatives are. That's where all the money is. They donate the most to the Fort Worth Police Department, something like that.
That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that goes on everywhere. That goes on
Absolutely
in California.
Everywhere. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm just saying, like,
this body cam footage and hear what they're lying to you about.
See, this is the weird part. So he comes up to the gate. He talks to him barely, right?
Yeah. Yeah, there's not much of a...
Yeah, there's what, almost 8 minutes on the video.
Yeah.
So he's like, he goes up there. What's the problem? This guy won't leave us alone. I told him go bye-bye. He no go bye-bye. I mean, come on. He's probably a mouth breather. Let's be honest.
So the guy in the shack is just a private security guard then?
Yes, sir.
Kind of looks like Kruger.
They all look like Kruger. So now he's leaving? I don't get it.
Well, so this is the thing, because most of them have a turnaround closer. And this guy goes down the
man with a camera.
Hold on, I'm going to stop this. Go ahead. Tell me what's going on. Why is he leaving?
So he's not, most places have the turnaround right there in front of the block.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, this guy goes half the block down. Like, they let him in. He goes down the block and turns around. I don't know. It's just weird. That's nothing. It's just something to look at, something to be like, why is that a thing? You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because if somebody pulls up to that stop, and then somebody else pulls up behind him, there's no other way. If they're not supposed to be there, there's no other way to get out.
Got it. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, so it's like a tactical thing that he's doing, maybe.
No. What I'm saying is he had no other option. Like, he has to go onto the property. Nobody, like, you can't just back up if somebody's behind you.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
You have to go onto the property.
So he had no choice in order to get repositioned to make his arrest or whatever.
Correct.
All right. Here we go. I'm gonna keep rolling, brother.
Technically, I never stepped foot on their property, so.
And then he's narrating for us.
Like he's already anticipating what's gonna come next.
Oh, he knows. He knows.
So this is BZ out walking, right?
Well, yeah, you can hear him breathing.
So he's
this
on
little guy. Look at him march over here. I've got purpose. I was in the middle of a report.
You got your body camera rolling, sir?
You
got your body camera rolling? Because I'm going to pull that. I want to see what lies they tell you. Don't mute it. Don't mute the mic.
God, he's
always.
cop off.
At least he narrates it for us, really.
Yeah, true. Don't mute the mic.
If it plays in court, from my point of view, if he goes over there and mutes the mic, oh, it looks so bad, especially if his video is like, hey, don't mute the mic. Like, oh.
This is hilarious, man. Sheesh.
So he goes over to
Trolling
this
says
sliding
he's an
glass
angry
door.
elf.
Like, I wonder if they even have air conditioning.
You coming to talk to me now? Okay. Before we get started, per your policy of 703, can you go ahead and identify yourself, please? Okay. Thank you, sir. So what did they tell you?
Did you catch his name?
I think so.
I'm not on their property. No trespassing. That's a public utility box. So you can't own a public street. You own beyond the gate, and you put even a sign up here. I'm refusing ID, sir. If they want me to leave now, here, if you want to hear what happened, okay. I was up here. They demanded ID from me. I told them to call the resident. I was picking up for an Uber. He refused. He got an attitude with me. I called the customer twice. I went ahead and called the customer. He was acting with idiot, felonious here. Okay, didn't want to let me go through. And then next thing I know, he told me to leave. I'm at the gate. I'm not backing up into this busy street where people are running. I told him, open that gate. That Bronco wasn't there. I said, I'll make a U-turn and I'll leave. I'll be more than happy to. He decides he wants to escalate the whole situation. Cars are backing up behind me.
My curiosity is in when they asked you to leave, why didn't you?
Because he already called the cops. Now the second gentleman who's now smiling over there, thinking you're going to arrest me or do something, he came up and he started to defuse the whole situation. No problem. I was getting ready to leave, but then I asked, did you call the cops? Confirm with security guard, yes. So I stayed to wait. So I've been here, I don't know, an hour and 15, 20 minutes waiting for you guys. So I would have been gone an hour and a half ago. This would have never escalated. But
I guess why didn't you leave an hour and a half ago?
Because they called the cops.
Right. So now we're out here. Now we have to.
Now that you're out here, now you're having to deal with. I wasn't going to run and believe whatever they told you.
Right. Then they could
But
just
you know,
arrest
if,
him.
if,
Okay,
if you know,
pause it
off,
right there.
sir, public utility.
I think he was right, because if he would have left, then they could have put an all points bulletin out on him, and then like arrest him with their freaking weapons drawn. I think that was a smart move for him to wait.
Oh, they absolutely. I mean, you don't know if they've got cameras or whatever, and the guy at the security booth could very easily say, "This guy in this vehicle showed up, demanded to be here, and then he pulled a gun on me and demanded, but I didn't let him, and I told him I called the cops, and he ran off."
That's smart.
And then all of a sudden, you've got BZ getting put on the ground at gunpoint. So no, he absolutely did the most reasonable thing to do.
Well, to save himself from getting ventilated later.
Absolutely.
All right.
And he's not aggressive. You can see he's not aggressive to the guy.
Yeah, I know.
So he's for BZ, he's being very reasonable and calm.
That's funny. Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah, I think so far, I'm giving BZ some serious points here. He's acting very measured, and he's being reasonable and logical. So this is good so far. Let's keep going.
I think he's
never crossed the threshold of that gate. I've never entered their property. He did assist me backing up into the street, which is why I'm parked over there now. But see that gate? I never entered their property.
Why is this an issue?
Because you're here. You're asking why it's an issue. Obviously, you're here. So if you like,
You're the issue.
I'm not the issue. I was filming. That's the issue. You guys have a problem with First Amendment. Then if you want to give me your CAD number with a card, I'll be more than happy to leave.
Only because you're causing me.
All right, so that's the first time. That's the first thing I noticed when I was watching this.
Hold on. So tell me what's going on here. What does he mean by CAD number for the audience?
So it's basically like, give me your name and badge number.
Okay.
Right. Your CAD number is it's who you are. Right. And from what I understand, their policy, you don't have to give a name and badge number. You can give your CAD number.
Oh,
and so
okay.
this is the first time that he's asked him, "Sir, can you go ahead and identify yourself?" Because there might be a million Smiths in the Fort Worth Police Department or whatever. And so the CAD is that's your identifier on patrol. So
okay. So instead of saying name and badge number, you could just say give me your CAD number. So now if a civilian starts asking you for that, doesn't that sort of give you a little signal that maybe he's smarter than your average bear, like maybe somebody should be taken a little more seriously?
As from a police officer's standpoint, when I'm talking to this guy and he's first off has already listed policy, and although the only maybe it's not explained, he's like, "Why are you here?" Because you are here, because you were called. Maybe the cop didn't quite understand what he was saying.
Maybe
that's the only excuse I've got for him right now is maybe he didn't quite understand. I am here because they called the police and I wasn't going to run off and I wasn't going to get a felony stop on me in 2 hours.
Yeah.
There's some bull stuff that was said right here.
Yeah.
So I stayed. Yeah.
Okay. And then he's saying, "Give me your CAD number." But shouldn't that be enough to?
They should be walking over to the vehicle. You know what? Yeah, you just want my CAD number? Then all right, let's go.
But shouldn't that be like telling the cop that this is maybe somebody I should not put into torture cuffs? Like maybe I should listen to this guy.
Oh yeah, no, it should have been over right now. Like right now, can I get your CAD number? Sure, let's go to my car. Because that not only diffuses the situation, it gets him away from the situation, right? The people that called the police have now been taken out of the equation. If he would have just gone, "Oh, you want my CAD number? Let's go to my car."
Got it. That would have taken him away from that.
It would have diffused the whole situation.
Okay. All right. So less volatile. He could have used this as a clue to exit stage left and try to get BZ out of there.
Right. Yeah, because we're closer to your car now too. Here's my CAD number. Now get in your car and get out of here.
Yeah, because BZ's saying I would have left but they won't open the gate to let me leave.
Right.
And then since they called you, now I have no choice but to leave because the cops may think that I'm a felon. I don't know what he told you guys. Better for me to stand here, right?
Look, anybody that's been burnt by a baby mama knows you don't run.
or get swatted, right?
Same thing.
Okay.
Dude,
All right.
I had more than one baby mama that was like, he stole my gun. He's a felon.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Man, women could be
Oh,
so
where'd you
vicious,
find the
too.
gun? Oh, I found it. It was behind in my closet. Sorry, I didn't mean to call y'all. I didn't mean to.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude, on more than one occasion.
And if she's hot enough, the cops are like, hey, be back to pick you up later.
Bro, it's in Section 8. That's never the way it goes.
I'm just kidding. Here we go.
It's
Let's
only
keep
the
on.
alarm calls over by the college.
Now, the way he's standing, when I look at him, he almost
He's
looks
not
like
bladed or anything. He's not worried. Nothing. He has no concern about him.
when I look at the cop, though, I can see that his weapon fasten, that the catch is at the ready, so he can pull his weapon. So
Yeah, but he's not bladed. He's not trying to keep a significant, because that's under 21 feet, right?
yeah,
That's if he's scared of him, he's going to stay out of that distance, right?
yeah.
So he's not bladed. He doesn't have the gun away,
Yeah,
right? He doesn't have his non-dominant forward. So he's
That's
just sitting
true.
there like giving old BZ the knife hand. Son, why are you still here?
and he kind of does look like Kruger.
He does a little bit.
Yeah. I'm gonna keep on playing it.
And now we're out here.
My car is over there, and I'm not on the premises. I'm not on the premise. Sir, you see that no trespassing sign? Okay, no trespassing. I'm not no unauthorized person. I'm on a public sidewalk. I'm being a pain. You're being unprofessional. 703 conduct of your policy. So do me a favor.
You go in the back of my car.
Would you?
You can go that option.
Okay, look. Now I'm off the property, right?
You just need to-
But you're violating my First Amendment.
I'm not violating.
You are. What did I just tell you? I told you if you give me your CAD number, hold on. I told you if you give me your CAD number, sir, don't turn this
I'm not
off.
doing this with you.
Sir, get your supervisor.
See, all right. See, back
Can't
it
go
up a
in
little
handcuffs.
bit.
I'm live streaming.
All right,
Because
hold on.
he's getting
Resisting.
off the property and doing as he was told.
Okay, here, right about here.
You're right about there.
You're being unprofessional. 703 conduct of your policy. So do me a favor.
You go in the back of my car.
Would you?
You can go that option.
Okay, look. Now I'm off the
he's
property,
moved
right?
Off the property.
Altogether, you just need to-
But you're violating my First Amendment.
I'm not violating.
You are. What did I just tell you? I told you if you give me your CAD number, hold on. I told you if you give me your CAD number, sir, don't turn this
I'm not
off.
doing this with you.
Sir, get your supervisor.
See, what?
Okay, I'm going in handcuffs. I'm
All right,
watching.
go pause it.
I'm not resisting.
Hold on.
I'm not resisting.
All right.
Why is he going hands on with him?
I couldn't quite figure that out either. I think he's
He's-
just confused. He doesn't know what
And
else to do.
that is not a gate. That is not a controlled access point. That is a walkway.
Yeah.
So where
Right.
that sign says private property do not pass, that's understandable. If they had it right there on that brick or on that archway, I would understand. Right?
Right. To me, the sign is where the private property begins.
Correct. Unless there's a gate restricting access, that's an open sidewalk. It's just
Yeah.
pretty.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. All right, let's keep on watching this bad chicken.
This thing.
Not here to play games.
I just told you to give me a CAD number. I would leave. I'm on a public sidewalk, sir.
Put your hands on your back.
Okay, don't turn off my camera. Just let me put it in my pocket.
Done.
Ooh. All right, hold on, because I know you sent me the Texas Penal Code,
Uh-huh. I've got it right here too.
so I just want to have it up on the screen. So I got a couple of issues with this.
I told you.
Yeah, so for me, okay, first of all,
Hey, Mr. Canestra, we could talk to Mr. Eline probably later, but right now we're going to be doing Mr. BZ's video.
right, yeah, that's right. So Braden, yeah, I got a bunch of videos we're going to show later, but you can always email me stuff. But so in Texas, while public easements are generally meant for public use,
Correct.
Trespassing on a public easement you can be trespassed for being on a public easement. Now,
All right, now, but here's the problem. That's not what they cited him for.
Yeah, that's okay. So that's what I wanted you to. Okay, so again, so people who just joined us, Ryan's a retired Texas cop, so he knows what he's talking about. I'm a lawyer. I'm a Texas lawyer, and when I am defending cases, I hire expert witnesses like him.
All right, so I'm gonna tell y'all some dirt.
We don't know everything. We hire experts who do this for a living to help us. So go ahead, Ryan.
So, like when we do drug interdiction and when we go get somebody for stuff, we don't write them a ticket for the reason we stopped them. You know why?
Why?
Because you can't fight that in court now. You can't fight my PC because I gave you a warning. Right. And then I asked you if I could have a personal interaction with you. And then you said no. And then I said, well, I'm gonna have to go get the dog. So you can leave, but your car's gonna stay here. It's that easy.
So that's why they didn't arrest him for trespass, because it wasn't citable.
Bingo.
As a trespass.
But here's my other problem. Is they cited him for disorderly, citing. Now, if you go over there to it, so it's using abusive, indecent, profane, vulgar language. Where? When did he use any profane or lewd language?
Is this the penal code we're talking?
Yes, sir. Title 9, Chapter 42, 4201, disorderly.
Okay, so disorderly, 4201, sub 9. No, that's discharges a firearm.
No, Title 9. It's under Title 9. Offenses against public order. It's just 4201.
42. Okay, so I see 4201. Abusive. Okay, it says if they use abusive, indecent, profane, or vulgar language in a public space. But I thought that he was arrested for like a local ordinance or something.
So I thought they cited him for even though okay. So, but it's disorderly, and you can't make extra laws.
Yeah. Right.
There's already a law. A municipality can't change the law. So there's already state law that says this. Well, and to back up on all of that, so there's section 1 through 11, subsections A, B, and all of this. It doesn't matter. So when you're using abusive or indecent or profane language, do you know who can be offended?
Who?
The public.
Ah, right. That makes
Brother,
sense.
you can say fuck the police all day long. To them in their face, it does not matter. That is free speech. That is protected speech, especially to a law enforcement officer.
Yeah.
You cannot be offended, especially in Texas. You cannot be. I have my pee-pee smacked at least twice when I was a rookie because I was offended.
No kidding.
Yeah.
So let's get inside this dude's head. Hold on a minute. I thought that BZ was arrested for violating a municipal, like a local ordinance.
Oh, so hold on. So he was put in cuffs by that goofy guy right there, right?
Yeah.
For trespassing.
Okay.
Is what it sounds like, right? Because that's what he's there for.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what you would think.
That's what he's there for. That's why he's putting him in handcuffs. That's not the guy that cited him for disorderly conduct.
Ah, gotcha. Okay, so we don't have that clip to show today.
Correct.
Okay, gotcha.
So where we are is we have somebody else that had to bring in another officer because he was offended and he was forced to use violence against BZ.
Okay.
It doesn't fly, bro.
So what you're thinking is the pretense was this 4201, but then
No, I think the pretense was pissing off the police.
Well, yeah, but they had to come up with a pretextual reason to justify the arrest.
Yes, sir. The
And that was
detention, because that's what they're going to call it. It wasn't arrested. It was just a detention
For the purposes of investigating further, right?
which is bullshit. Because if it's a disorderly conduct, we should have already known what the elements of the offense were, right?
Yes.
because otherwise he had no reason to put him in handcuffs. Now, is disorderly? If I see, I'm just having problems with the officer being offended and that being the pretext or the pretextual reason for arresting him.
So it says here, because I know it's hard for the people to read on the screen, but I'll read it here. So 42.01 disorderly conduct. A person commits an offense if he intentionally or knowingly uses abusive, indecent, profane, or vulgar language in a public place, and the language by its very utterance tends to incite an immediate breach of the peace. But there's nothing that he said that was even remotely insightful. He was actually pretty respectful, which
I told you when you were like, I know
out of character from what, right? It's out of character for what we're used to, right?
Dude, when you called me, you were like, oh my gosh, I don't know what he did. I don't know what he said. And then I saw the video and I was like, Mike, no.
He didn't do anything wrong.
He was in the right.
Yeah, that's what I think too. But you're thinking that this was the basis, but then they hit him with this municipal ordinance.
Well, no. So I think the reason that they cited him with the disorderly conduct is because they needed to unarrest him, but they needed to have a reason to have him arrested.
Yeah.
I think it was just a CYA.
Yeah, right. Because otherwise he would have a false arrest.
Yes, sir.
So now they have a justifiable, they can say, well, it was plausible that he did this and we got qualified immunity now because we made the arrest.
Yep.
Cited him. Yeah, that's pretty normal. They have, when a cop beats you up for no reason, they got to charge you with resisting.
Well, no, because if you beat him up and then don't charge him with anything, it never happened.
Oh, right. Well, if there's witnesses, it happened. That's the problem.
All right. And there's video cameras.
Sheesh, you're killing me right now. All right, so now this other one, Penal Code Section 30.05, criminal trespass. I got that up on the screen now. This is the other one you sent me, Ryan. So walk me through this. If I'm hiring you as an expert witness, why are we reverse engineering everything with trespass and offensive conduct when the charge that he got is a municipal violation? What do we think? How are we breaking this down?
Here's why. Sorry, I didn't bring it back up on my screen, and I just hit enter on the wrong. I typed everything.
Yeah, I got Penal Code 30.05 criminal trespass on here, because that sounds like that's what. But BZ saying, wait a minute, I'm on a public easement.
Right. And that's the thing. It's because they're trying to cite him for being on public private property.
Yeah. But
and you have to have restricted access. And there's no, you can't just have so in Texas, you can have private land. Say I've got 2,000 acres.
Yeah.
I'm not going to buy a freaking sign that says no trespassing to put up every 10 feet. That's retarded. Right.
Yeah.
So in Texas, you're allowed to paint trees and fence posts purple on two different sides at a certain height. Right.
Yep.
Did you see anything painted purple? Did you see anything restricting his access to that property?
No, I'm still. Jody just said it. BZ didn't do anything wrong. I mean,
I don't think he did.
I don't think he did either. I think like maybe the cop's friends with the guys in the guard shack, and he had to do something.
I think they called, and then after like an hour, he didn't leave, so that cop actually had to go do his effing job. Do you know what I mean? He was pissed off. He was just pissing off the police. I've actually got to go deal with this a-hole because he won't get off this property. And now I'm pissed off, and I'm just going to put him in handcuffs. And then, look, you don't see this in the video, but I've seen the pictures, and I've put a lot of people in effing handcuffs. They also didn't they put him in one set of handcuffs. He's a big dude. You don't do that.
Yeah.
And they didn't double lock the cuffs before putting him in the back of the vehicle.
Man, they really messed up his wrists. I was really upset, man.
Yeah, me too. Me too. When I saw that, I was like, that guy was just pissed off. And he did not.
He's pretty big, like you say. He's pretty big. Like he's probably a guy that needs double cuffing, right?
Oh, absolutely. If not, 2 pairs of zip ties.
Yeah.
And that's just so you don't break anything. There's a lot of tendons, and we're taught that. There's a lot of
Yeah.
tendons. There's a lot of nerves. This is a very delicate. I mean, in Spanish, it's what it's like the doll's wrist or something, right?
Yeah,
Like it's
that's
a
right.
very sensitive area, and we know this. But this guy was so ticked off that he just wrapped him up. You know, he cranked his arms back to get him together.
Oh yeah.
And from what it looks like, he had him like this. Like you're taught to go back to the wrist, to the back to the wrist.
Yeah,
From what it looks like, he was palm to the back of the hand.
got it. Yeah,
Which is
because
going
probably the only.
to jack somebody up.
That's probably the only way he was able to get the.
Yep.
So when I'm looking at, because I did the research today actually on 30.05, and there is an exception that does allow you to make a criminal trespass arrest on a public easement for disturbances, prohibited activities, or if you've been specifically asked to leave by someone with authority, like a property owner or law enforcement. But all I hear is BZ saying, "I'll leave. Just give me your CAD card so I can document this, and I'm out of here."
Well, as soon as that guy called the cops and he said, "I called the cops." Okay, sir. Well, now I have to stick around.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, but the cop then is asking him to leave, and I see
Right, and he's
BZ
not.
leaving.
But he's not. BZ's just standing there, just recording. He's not making a scene. He's not kicking shit. He's not breaking stuff.
Yeah, that's
So-
right. Not being a disturbance, but what about the concept of just being asked to leave, even though the cop probably didn't have authority to ask him to leave? Is that
So it doesn't matter though. I mean, the cop, yes, has the authority. So does the guy in the guard shack. But the guy in the guard shack said, "I want you to leave," and then called the cops. And I feel like there wasn't enough time in between. And then BZ took his vehicle and he moved it off property.
Yeah.
And then when he went back to the gate, he thought he was through the gate and not on private property due to where the sign was located.
Yeah. That makes
And
sense.
so it sounds like he was doing everything he could to be within the bounds, within the confines of the law.
Right, and it's so ambiguous as to where the property line is,
Right.
or what's private,
There's
what's
no
public.
gate
But
until
even
the
though,
sign.
but I guess the point is though that whether it's private or public, they still have the right to trespass you. It's just how they do it. Is that how you would?
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
And in this-
look, he asked him to leave and he did leave. That's why they couldn't charge him with trespassing.
Got it. Because he was leaving, or arguably he was in the process of leaving.
Right.
So
And then when the cop gets there, he's like leaving, right? Because he's backing up. You start to see the outline of the gate. By that time, the cops had enough, and he comes through to the other side and puts him under arrest. For what? For
he
talking
didn't
too much.
really give all BZ wanted was for him to ID himself.
Yep. He wanted his CAD number. And it looked like BZ's kind of trying to lead him that way, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm backing up. Let's go to your car. Just give me your freaking CAD number. And the guy's like, "No, fuck you. You're under arrest." Pardon my language.
So the municipal citation, you think that they pulled this $500 finable offense out because they recognized that they wouldn't have gotten anywhere with a criminal trespass arrest?
Yeah, and they still wanted to waste his time in the future.
Do you think that the prosecutor could still potentially, like a filing deputy might still try to? That's why I'm always kind of leery about covering stories like this, because if they want to make an example, like Carolina, I believe if she would have not said anything and just disappeared, all that stuff would have gotten thrown out.
Right.
But by her getting out there.
What hill do you want to die on?
Yeah, there you go.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, is this the fight that we need to take, or are there other fights? Dude, did you not see that stuff out of Almost Park yesterday?
Yeah.
I am 2 miles from there.
Wow. Holy crap.
That upsets me so. When they shoved that big old boy down on his face.
Yeah.
Filing deputy. Well, so they weren't. Is the cop in Texas?
And we got Ralph Riley saying color of law. Well, I think that's obvious.
Yeah, I mean, he got put in cuffs for pissing off the police, and they looked for something to charge him with.
Yeah, that's what they'll do. They'll throw you in the back, they'll hotbox you, and they'll pull out their penal code, get their buddies, and start ripping through it, trying to figure out what they're going to charge you with.
And I think if this goes before a judge is going to look at that cop and be like, "What do you mean you were offended? The witness is a cop? Are you fucking kidding me? Get out of my courtroom."
So what was the local ordinance? Can anybody put in the sidebar what the local ordinance was that he was charged with? If anybody knows? I'm just trying to figure out how that squares, because I know from being a lawyer that a lot of those old ordinances are not even enforceable. They don't even have force and effect of law. They're just policies. So I'm just trying to figure out, maybe we could do like an administrative, like exhaust his administrative remedies through like the city clerk and default it, get a default and just get the thing thrown out, treat it like it's a civil penalty, because that's kind of what it sounds like.
Well, that's what it is. So it's going to have to be a class D misdemeanor, because it's not enumerated in Texas's penal code. It's going to be enumerated in Fort Worth or wherever he is. So it's going to be the lowest misdemeanor. Yeah,
and when I was doing this stuff, the sovereign citizen stuff back in the day, the way we would get these.
Actually, I didn't mind you because I was a constable here, and we're the only ones enumerated in the Texas Constitution. So it'd be great to pull them over. What'd you pull me over for? For being a dickhead. Oh,
I know. But when I was doing it, we would use Penal Code Section 9, which basically, allows you to administratively attack these infractions. And so we would go and we would get a default judgment. We'd file it with the city clerk, and then we would take the traffic infraction and go to court and file a demur and attach the default to the demur and say, what? It's already been defaulted through the city. The prosecutor never responded. The cop never responded. The city clerk never responded. This case has no more force and effect. I'm wondering if Texas has a similar way to do that.
So what we used to do when I was a kid, I don't know about being a cop or after that, but we would go in and file a discovery act, like make sure everything was kosher with
discovery kills them.
And then ask for trial by jury. And that's when they're usually like, you know what, F you, it's over, go away.
Yeah, that's true. He could demand discovery. I was thinking that he should do a motion to suppress, because there's anything that they did is basically fruit of the poisonous tree. Any evidence that they have based on a false arrest is fruit of the poisonous tree, and maybe get it thrown out that way.
Yep.
But since it's a city ordinance, it may be that he can attack it administratively and treat it like it's a civil penalty. So I'm just trying, I'm thinking out loud, and I got a trained officer here with me. What are you thinking, Ryan? I mean, how would you?
I mean, look, personally, if I wouldn't take that case to a freaking judge, dude. Right? I wouldn't do it. The judges that I have seen, if I took that to them, I would be the laughing stock. So it would end up being like a failure to appear. Like I forgot to show up, or show up and I don't remember. It's a DNR.
The cop doesn't show. The cop fails.
Yep.
So hey, what's the matter? You good seeing you, man? And so Ralph Riley's saying that it's just an offer to contract. Yeah, he's got some points, man. He's got some points. So what are you thinking? So when it's a municipal ordinance and it's handled in one of these like podunk, like whatever courthouse it's going to be, it doesn't sound like he's entitled to a trial by jury because there's no threat of jail.
But that's if it was just a municipal, and if it was municipal, he probably doesn't have a right to, but he also has a right to face his accusers, which would be that other cop. And I'm telling you, in 20 years, I've never heard of a cop being offended and that being able to go in front of a judge.
So you're thinking that the other cop that made the initial arrest,
dude, I got laughed out of a judge's chambers because I pulled a guy over, gave him a ticket for cutting me off.
Okay.
I can't be cut off. I'm just the police.
So it's less, this case is less about public or private easement and more about the procedures that the officers used.
Absolutely.
It wouldn't have mattered whether it was public or private.
That's why they didn't cite him for it.
Right. They had to come up with some pretextual reason to hit him with something else.
Some other bullshit so they could justify putting him in his nice little jewelry.
the golden hand, the silver handcuffs.
Absolutely.
The torture cuffs.
And I've got plenty of friends that they get mouthy and they're allergic to cops. They break out in handcuffs. But in this case, he didn't talk enough trash to warrant being put in cuffs. Seriously. That guy's pissed me off just talking on the phone. I'd put him in handcuffs for stuff. That's not it.
So this really is a case of feelings police.
Yeah, he pissed off the police. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too. Is just, and honestly, I was thinking he was going to be in his normal form where he's just totally obnoxious and belligerent, and he's not. He's actually being totally cool and like mellow and like, hey, I'm backing up. Hey, just don't break my camera, dude. I was like, wow, dude.
And he already. So they made him lose that ride, right?
Yeah.
And then he had to stay there for an hour and a half, hour and 15 minutes waiting for the police to show up. And then he gets arrested and unarrested and cited.
That is weird. And by the way, Ralph Riley's asking, what case are you guys talking about? We're talking about BzWatchDog. He got arrested. And here's what I'm going to do, Ralph. I'm going to drop the link in.
Oh, and speaking of breaking freaking protocols, did you hear his dog got in the police vehicle?
Oh gosh, yeah. BZ was telling me. So as soon as I heard he got arrested, I was reaching out to Chili and all the boys saying, hey, does anybody know a local person? I called you too.
Yeah. Like how do we get the dog? What do we do? Yeah.
Yeah, because
he was in the police car with BZ. It was fine.
Yeah, no, because he's my Marine brother, and I recognize that he's going to be thinking about his dog, and everybody else is thinking about BZ. But I know that dog is everything to him. So I was trying to figure out a way to get his dog. So, and that's another reason why, by the way, guys, we should develop parallel systems. So if somebody does get arrested, we have a local contact. If they have a dog or they have maybe a bird at the house that needs to get fed, that one of us can make contact and make sure that that's handled, because that's one of the big things that I see when people get arrested is they don't think they're going to get arrested, so they don't have a backup plan to make sure that their wife or their kids or their dog or their cat or their bird has somebody to take care of them. So that's something, guys, we should be
definitely thinking about.
We should put Jody Shiloh in charge of that because she's very caring. We should make Jody Shiloh our admin, our S1, and get her have her help us put together a list of how we can, get help out there. But yeah. So you're thinking, what do you think the chances are, like statistically, that they're even gonna do you think the prosecutor is even gonna file this, or is there even a filing deputy? With one of these
so you file your own stuff, and then the district attorney or ADA is going to look at it, and they're going to call that cop in, and they're going to talk to him about what he thinks he's doing. Right? That's a rough one, and that'll be telling whether or not it gets dismissed before he even gets to court.
Yeah,
if they want to push it and show up to court. I'm just, dude, I'm hard pressed.
You don't think this dog hunts?
Right. It's a lame dog. It's got like 2.5 legs. and it's dragging its back end. Like it's a rough citation is what it is. And I think that's why they used a citation versus like an actual criminal code.
Yeah.
Because he's not going to get his pee smacked as hard.
Yeah. So, do you think that this cop is facing any repercussions for making such a BS arrest? Like, is he getting laughed at right now?
I mean, only socially.
Okay.
Because I think
like
3
they're kind of
different
making
cops
fun of
showed
him.
up. No,
Like, what the hell did you do to arrest this guy for? Right? Like, why did you even do that?
There you
He
are.
looks like he lost his temper because BZ kept asking him for his ID. That's what I was thinking. looks like we lost Ryan, guys. Hopefully he'll. This does happen sometimes. There you go. Yeah, no, are you back? You back?
Maybe.
You look good now. Can you hear me? Oh, you got no comms.
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay. All right. But I don't hear, like, you're kind of going in and out. Well, anyways, guys, so he may pop in and out while he's getting his comms figured out, but yeah, you're breaking up. You're breaking up. It kind of reminds me of the $6 Million Man. Remember the TV show $6 Million Man? By the way, guys, you may kind of notice I'm dragging right now. Last night I celebrated the Marine Corps birthday in Nevada, and I am just absolutely wiped out. Like, normally I can go at least 2 hours, but I don't think I'm going to be able to go much longer. Just completely annihilated. But I did drop the link.
Wait, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just telling Ralph in the latecomers that I dropped the link to BZ's arrest. And now tomorrow night I'm gonna. What's that?
Somebody said the link didn't work a minute ago.
Really? No kidding. Hold on. Let me try again. I could have done something wrong. Let me just make sure I got this bad chicken set up here.
I can't drop it from my phone.
I'm going to try to drop it again. Just stand by. Platoon. Platoon. Left, right, left. I just dropped it again. Yeah, Ryan's kind of zipping in and out. He's got kind of bad comms where he's at. This isn't the first time this has happened. But guys, hopefully you can hear me.
I think it's the sunspots today.
Oh yeah, okay. But you're now I hear you. So what do you think, Ryan? Do you think that he's going to end up getting convicted of this? And if so, what's his next step? It sounds like he could appeal it, right?
So I mean, before I really don't think he could get a conviction unless it's a pretty corrupt court. I mean, I would, like we said, I would file some discoveries and some motions and ask if it was a lawful arrest.
Does he have now? Will he have a right to discovery in a with such a BS like non-criminal charge?
I mean, why wouldn't you? It's still a criminal court, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, typically I would always do discovery. Yeah. You're entitled to all the exculpatory evidence against you, right?
Right. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things the Constitution kind of told us we get, right? Like,
the Brady case.
That's why we got
that Brady case.
So,
yeah, I hate, so he's out there doing government accountability operations. The First Amendment is basically set up for that purpose, to hold your government accountable. And he's doing it, and look what happens to him, man. And then his dog jumps in the freaking cruiser with him.
At least somebody could console him. That's my favorite part.
Dude, that was badass, man.
Yeah.
That was freaking cool. Yeah. So let's see if anybody's got any questions in the sidebar for us. Hey, what's the matter, you? Thanks for promoting my website and stuff, man.
Somebody was looking, so I told, because it starts to look kind of like official oppression, right? Like, I did it just because I can do this.
Yeah.
I'm going to F up your day just because I can.
Yeah.
That somebody mentioned that. And I mean, it's a possibility. I don't know the case law on it. But I mean, it
says here he's a new cop. IB Trollin says he was a new cop, the badge number 5902. So
yeah,
that could be part of it. He just didn't know what he was doing.
I mean, but is that
a justification to
right?
To me, if you're a new cop, you're gonna be more
in Fort Worth's, dude. Fort Worth's their FTO program is extensive. Like, he should have known better.
Got it. So can you tell the audience what FTO means?
And so once you go through in Fort Worth, I know this because I've got family in the Fort Worth Police Department. My cousin was actually shot in the Fort Worth Police Department at a robbery gone wrong at a water park. Shot in the femur. So he's a Marine. Got shot, returned fire, and you want to know what he complained about the most?
What?
He missed one.
Oh, sheesh. Sounds like a freaking Marine to me.
Yeah. So they there's so you take the test and then you have to get like a 99 or above to get into the academy. Then you go through and it's just the Fort Worth Academy. They have fire department on one side, police on the other. Both of them think they should have gone the other way.
Yep.
And then once you get out of the academy, which is about 6 months long, you spend over 6. Yeah. Oh, Texas is as long, and they go through. Fort Worth also does the Krav. I think they're doing Krav Maga now.
Oh,
just like DPS. DPS switched to Krav Maga 10 years ago.
Interesting.
But so you have to go through that FTO, and you're with usually. I don't know quite how their FTO goes. Usually, you switch who you're with. Like you'll go to daylight, you'll spend a month or 3 months or whatever on daylight with one officer. Then you'll go to midnight, you'll spend a month to 3 months with that officer. LA's is a year long. So I think Fort Worth's is 6 months, I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Now, Press for Transparency asked, doesn't Cohen versus California apply? Well, I mean, anything could apply. I guess what I'm trying to find out from Ryan is, what is he thinking from the political point of view? Because see, that's one of the things that I like to teach people on my show is that there's the law, and then there's what is a jury going to do? What is a judge going to do? Because, yeah, sure, you can spend like Chile, $100,000 and do your appeal and eventually win, but at that micro level, macro level, what are you going to do if you don't have that? If you don't have a support base? Is your dad going to throw down $100,000 for your appeal if you lose at the lower court?
Right.
These are the things that I wanted you guys to know. Like when I got beat up by that West Covina cop, I mean, I ended up for my criminal defense lawyer, I used to detail cars too to make extra money. So I was going out to his house and detailing him and his wife's car. Like, I mean, how are you going to pay for it? I'm just telling you guys, it's not.
Well, so, and that's on this one. If it's a city ordinance, there you cannot associate jail time with that.
Yeah, that's true. But still, it still goes on your record. It counts as a contact. I mean, my goal in a case like his would be, I'd want
have it expunged and removed.
Well, or in California, I would seek a petition for a finding of factual innocence, not just an expungement. I'd want to have a finding by the court of factual innocence.
All right.
So, and I'm sure Texas, I have to do the research. I didn't have time, guys, because I did the Marine Corps birthday yesterday. But
I'm not sure on that far.
Yeah.
I charge them, man. We charge them. We go to court.
Yeah.
File a report.
Yeah. And then to hire a lawyer for a $500. See, that's the other way they get you guys is they know that you have to balance between spending a couple $1,000 on a lawyer or paying a fine.
Don't even get me started. I went through divorce court, Mike. Don't even get me started.
That's what they're looking for, though, just the easy way out. And by the way, somebody said here that I think it was Jeff that Carolina was on the way to get Brownie. Yeah, but I didn't know that, Jeff, and he's a fellow Marine, and so I feel obligated because we're a band of brothers, and that's why it would have been nice if we had somebody like that we knew. Or we had our own parallel systems set up to where we could help each other. That's all I'm trying to do is just find a way to help you guys develop a parallel system where we all band together to help each other. And thank God for Carolina and Fort Worth that she was going to go get Brownie, but I didn't know that that's what she was going to do. I had no clue. That's why I was calling you, and you're like, I'm 300 miles away.
Yeah.
Shoot, I mean, they could have probably euthanized his dog by the time you got there. You just don't know. And they do crap like that all the time.
300 miles. It's like so that's 35 between San Antonio, and Fort Worth. That's like driving between San Diego and the north side of LA.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, that's quite a. Yeah.
It's effed. It's 35. I've always wanted to be like I-35 and just always be working on myself because there's never a part that's not under construction.
Yeah. Now, IB Trolling says, look at the overbreadth doctrine and Snyder Phillips. Yeah, I get all that. But again, you can spout all the case law you guys want. And I appreciate that because that's what I do as an appellate lawyer. But I'm talking about the practical aspects of, what are you going to do when you're facing a $500 fine or having to hire a lawyer and potentially spend thousands of dollars? And what if this was a case? Go ahead.
But that's what they want. They want you to chicken shit out and pay the $500.
Yeah.
That's what pisses me off.
Yeah, I agree.
I think want you. That's just like, you know how many defense attorney or ADAs, DAs will offer a year in prison and a guilty term because they know most guys will just do a year in prison, no big fucking deal.
Yeah, that's true.
Guilty or not, they're like, it'll all be over. I don't have to pay a lawyer. It's not going to be stretched out 2 or 3 years. I just go in, I do a year, and I'm done. Yeah, so they'll take it.
But
that's the system screwing everybody.
But a guy like Chili, for example, you go to jail for 2 or 3 months. If he didn't have people helping him run his channel, he would have gone bankrupt.
Oh, absolutely. Poor people don't do well in jail. Like, they get out, they don't have a house, they don't have their car they've been paying on, they don't have anything they had. Everything got like put on the curb.
Yeah.
Like if you don't have like direct deposit, all that money's coming out. Yeah, no, absolutely, that's what happens.
Yeah, Salty
it's
says
the worst feeling in the world, as far as I'm concerned, as a police officer, knowing you're putting somebody in jail and then you're going to end up putting their freaking kids and stuff on the street.
Yeah, Salty Buckeye says the process is the punishment.
Oh, absolutely. That's part of the punishment.
Part of the punishment, yeah. Well, it's good to hear, somebody who was a former LEO like say how it really is.
There's a bunch of us out there, I'm telling you. It's just like the loud minority.
Yeah.
That's not the ones you see.
Now, IB Trolling says, what happens if the security guard decides he doesn't want to testify? Well,
it doesn't matter.
It
doesn't, because did he incite the security guard or did he incite the cop?
Right. The security guard, to me,
which was the disorderly conduct?
To me, the security guard is a percipient witness. He's not the one who charged it, and it wasn't charged as trespass.
Yeah, and he'll never show up.
Yeah, why would he? What's the point? But
because that cop was offended?
Right. It's really the PD and the PD's police report and whether or not the judge is going to give more weight, because it's trial by judge, as far as I know.
Right. Yeah, it should be.
Yeah. So, whatever. And the judge is always going to, that's why I keep telling you guys, the judge is always going to support the police over.
Dude, no. I worked in Charlottesville, Michael.
Okay. All right. You tell me then. Because I'm always thinking.
There are plenty. It depends on. So Fort Worth is still kind of a liberal city, right?
Interesting.
Dallas, Fort Worth, San Antonio, Houston, El Paso. Those are still pretty strong liberal strongholds. And just like I had to put up with, they don't actually like the police.
Interesting.
They loved putting us down.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. All right.
So, I mean, in those they have George Soros DAs in those cities.
Okay. Yeah. So give me your crystal ball. What do you think is going to go down here?
I bet they don't even show up.
Well, we should all be praying. Let us pray that they don't show up, man. I really, now, after watching this, BZ really handled himself well. I don't see that him.
I agree.
I don't think he did anything wrong. I just think it's cool that Carolina was there for him. That really makes me happy. For me, it's like I'm looking at the big picture. Like, who is there to support my friend? Like, give me a bunch of ones for Carolina, guys. That was pretty badass. I really appreciate people like that. I've spoken to her before. I know she's got a good heart. She's a good person. I'm really glad that he's got people like her supporting him. I care about my Marines more than anybody. You guys probably already know that, but like, as far as I'm concerned, I don't give a shit what he did. He's part of my family, and I feel not happy about what happened.
I'm not. I wasn't. After I saw the video, I was not happy with the way they treated him. it makes me upset that the police treated him like that. It's BS.
Yeah, and you know he's got a good heart. He he cares about people, and it's very rare to find people. He's genuine, and so I always take that. I'm a pretty good judge of character. I can tell when someone's a narcissist or full of themselves. I don't see him being like that. I think he's a good dude.
He just seems to be finding his niche right here in the world post Marine Corps. And
It's hard, man. That culture shock stays with you all your life.
oh yeah,
It's totally
no, I
different.
know it.
It's different than all the other branches, man. You know, I've said this before, but I'll say it again for all you newcomers. You join the Army, you join the Air Force, you join the Coast Guard, you join the Navy, but you become a United States Marine, and it's just with you for life. And I can spot Marines usually just by the way they walk, their bearing and discipline, even when they've been out 20 or 30 years. And people spot me all the time in court. Cops, were you in the Corps? You know, 'cause I don't always wear my honorable discharge pin, but were you in the Corps? Were you a cop? And I'm like, cop? No, I was in the Marines. I could tell. It's like,
It's
yeah,
the high
we're
and
just-
tight, the shoulders back, the chest out, and the I will fuck you up if you mess with me attitude.
just proud, you know, proud of being, you know, look, we're less than 0.25% of the population who joins.
Not
the
in
Marine
Texas. I don't know about now, but when I joined, 1 in 3 Marines was a Texan.
Corps. Oh, I had no clue.
Yeah.
We had man, I'll tell you, in my boot camp, the best Marines were all from Texas. Like they were like raccoon hunters, squirrel hunters, and all my guides were from Texas.
Yep.
The company high shooter was Texas. He beat me by 1 point. I was pissed because I grew up. My dad bought me a AR-15 H-bar when I was like 13, and I was out shooting all the time, and I was furious. Fucking Texan.
It's not the same. When I was a kid, and you're just slightly older than I am, you could get a box 1,000 rounds of ammunition for $100.
Yeah, like
1,000 rounds for $100.
5.56 ammo for like an AR.
Oh no, I mean that wasn't what I was getting for my SKS.
Oh wow, so 7.62 rounds.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Jiminy Christmas.
Oh
yeah, and I
90s
had
were
also
great.
yeah, we got that H bar for like $250, and then he got me an AKMS clone for like $200.
Nice.
Nobody wanted the AKs because they were garbage, you know.
Well, that's
like,
what I got the SKS for was $200.
Yeah, SKSs are actually pretty badass.
They were fun. Drop the
Yeah.
deer at 100 yards, open sight, no problem.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just going out shooting is fun.
Hey,
So
man.
I'm starting to nod off, guys. This is not a good night for me.
Oh, good. I'm hungry. I haven't eaten.
Yeah.
Yet.
So everybody, do me a favor. Take a look at the show that I did last night, the live that I did from the Leathernecks Bar, and if you can, go check out the Leathernecks Bar and their website, and you know, give them a positive review for standing tall for the Marine Corps for the last 20 or 30 years. The Leathernecks Bar is also a museum. It's one of the coolest bars and grills. You can pick up a hamburger for like $2, and the best hamburgers in Nevada. Get a beer for like $2. It's crazy cheap.
I'm gonna have my friend come perform for y'all over there.
I would love that. Yeah, you know, Ghost is
the band's called the Moonshiners, and they do swing dance kind of music,
yeah.
but with today's music. So they do
that'd be
like
cool.
Adele to swing music.
That'd be cool, man. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they would love it. I just always get goosebumps when I get to hang around with a bunch of my fellow Marines. It's so cool because we all think exactly alike. It's just unbelievable, the mentality. I just can't even explain that brotherhood. I'm praying to God that my son joins the Corps, not because I want him to be a Marine I want him to do it for the brotherhood that he's going to have when he gets out. I mean, I was in a dark place when I lost my father, and
Dude, that's why I joined the Corps. I joined the Corps because I was in a dark place and I needed that brotherhood.
That's right, man. And all those guys stood tall for my old man and me and my family. You know, my wife she could see that I was like teetering on, you know, because I felt so guilty that I wasn't a better son, you know. But they, you know, a lot of those guys had dads from Nam, and they understood exactly what I was going through.
Yeah.
You know, because they were totally destroyed. Our fathers were destroyed. Our government destroyed our fathers.
Growing up, my grandfather lived with me. He was E8 or E9. He was Master Guns.
Right on.
World War II,
Yeah.
into Korea, and you know, up and down the Texas coast from Dallas to Corpus, doing recruiting after the wars.
Yeah.
Yeah. He lived with us after an E4 tornado took his house down in California or in Oklahoma.
Yeah, Oklahoma, of course.
Yeah, right.
Tornado Alley, right?
Yeah, it was one of the huge ones too, and I was just like, dude, nothing can kill you. How did you? Because it went right over his house. And it leveled his house. He woke up in another room with a mattress over himself. And yeah, so I lived with that as my extra father for part of middle school and high school. So yeah, no, I feel that. That's why I joined.
Yeah, that's why whenever I meet anybody who is in the Corps, it's automatically like, that's my brother, and BZ knows it. He knows how I think. I've just been struggling. I've just been struggling a lot with pain. You know, I'm in a lot of pain, guys, and to the point where I'm wincing and not able to sleep. So it's been messing me up. But
call me tomorrow. Let's talk about that. Seriously.
Yeah, I will. Yeah,
I've taken a lot of classes on pain.
Oh, hey, there's BZ. Yeah, we're done, BZ. I'm going to go grab some chow. Look, I appreciate y'all showing up tonight for the channel and standing tall for my brother, BZ. And, you know, if you guys are religious, I'd appreciate it if you'd all say a prayer that the judge would, you know, the Holy Spirit would convict that judge or whoever's the filing deputy and throw out that case if you're a religious person. If not, you know, wish him luck or whatever. But stand tall for my brother BZ, and thank you, Carolina and Fort Worth, for looking after his dog.
Absolutely.
That's the only thing that I was concerned with. So tomorrow night, if I'm feeling up to it, I'm going to try to cover some of Brick Jonesy's latest videos. Him and Let's OTVO have some stuff. Cool. But Ryan, you've always stood tall for us, and I really appreciate you, you know, showing up tonight and kind of giving us your expert opinion, because, you know, you're the first guy that I would call, and actually you are the first guy that I called to try to get his dog, but also because I wanted your opinion as an officer, because, you know, look, lawyers don't know everything, and we typically will hire expert witnesses to help us come up with the protocols and standards arguments. Did the officer's conduct fall below the standard of care?
I think in this case, that's definitely what we're looking at.
Yeah, that's what we look for. And then Fred Piper has a bunch of stuff here in uppercase. We can take a look at that later. But yeah, guys, make sure, that's right. Make sure to like and subscribe to Angry Texans channel. Somebody dropped the link in the sidebar for me. Make sure to like and subscribe to BzWatchDog as well and support his channel. He's always out there doing government accountability operations. And he's the best public records request dude on the planet.
You're welcome.
Yeah. And
who do you think turned him into a monster?
Yeah, right on. And then always support Carolina and Fort Worth too. She's got the biggest set of balls on any woman I've ever met. And she's a former teacher who saw the light and got off of the administrative state communist school system. And now she's out holding the government accountable. Nothing but respect for her. And of course, always check out Delete Laws, my homeboy, Chili, who got me into doing all this stuff. So you guys could enjoy some of my shows. And thank you, everybody who showed up last night. I got almost 50,000 views for the Marine Corps birthday, which is sort of out of character because my channel is more about holding police accountable, but looked like a pretty cool show. So, yeah, but make sure to record stuff off of there because I got like 30 copyright violations because of the music.
The music.
So I appealed each one. So I have like 30 days that it's probably going to stay up, but if it doesn't,
I'm telling you, go to Rumble. I'm telling you, go to Rumble where they enjoy free speech.
Well, I'm trying to get somebody like I think that Rami's going to sort of help me move in that direction.
Well, you can do both, and even from StreamYard, you can, or from, I think it's from StreamYard, you can stream to both, or it's from Rumble, you can stream to X and YouTube.
All right, well, we'll figure it out. I mean, luckily we have some legit people, but make sure, guys, always remember parallel systems. All you guys in this sidebar should all be liking and subscribing to every single one of you should be liking and subscribing to each other, getting each other's contact information, finding out what kind of work you're in. I still need somebody to help me with silk screening. I want to start, to make extra money on my channel to support my family. I want to do t-shirts like Thomas Jefferson t-shirts, George Washington Republic, Team MPE. Help me out, guys, because I don't want to buy made in China garbage. I got
my hat from Alex Jones's that says I'm on a government watch list.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, and I want to make merch, that people like, and if one of you guys does that, like,
can we do one that says "Hello's for suckers"?
Yeah, hellos. I told Chili to get that trademarked. I hope.
He probably already forgot. We can do it. It's fine.
You should get it trademarked. But anyways, guys, I am absolutely wiped out. I really appreciate y'all for supporting my channel last night at the Marine Corps birthday. That, to me, the Marine Corps birthday, I live the whole year for that event. I hang out with the Leathernecks Motorcycle Club, and I hang out with the Leathernecks Peacemaker chapter in Texas, and I hang out with the Spartan chapter in Nevada, and I hang out with the Mad Dog chapter in California. I love all the Leatherneck Motorcycle Club guys. They're all just legit Marines, and they did a memorial ceremony for my father when the government had us shut down, and we did it at a gun range so we could give him a 21 gun salute. So if you guys ever get a chance to find the Leatherneck Motorcycle Club on Facebook or Instagram, whatever, please like and subscribe to them and tell them Michael Eline sent you, and send them a donation, buy their merch, whatever. Those are the most legit Marines in the civilian world that you're ever going to meet. So anyways, Ryan, do you have anything else to say before we close it out?
No, just thanks everybody for coming. Appreciate you having me, boss.
Oh, yeah, always, brother. You're part of Team MPE, man. And Chuck Bronson, right on, bro. It's been a while since I saw you. And again, my email that I don't check every day is circleoflegaltrust@yahoo.com. And that's the email that I set up. It was mainly for BZ to tell people to come over, but he's busy all the time. So just use that. Use it sparingly. Circleoflegaltrust@yahoo.com. And I'll do my best. Like Shock Prof, ask me questions. I'll do my best. And if I can't help you, look, I have parallel systems with other lawyers all across the United States. So even though I'm only licensed in Texas and California, there's a good chance that I know somebody. And now, because you guys have made my channel so popular, I mean, I'm almost up to 20,000 subscribers. Now, other lawyers who normally wouldn't give me or you the time of day, because let's face it, most lawyers don't give it. Well, I don't want to get into it, but now that I have something to offer, I'll give them airtime on my channel to help them get clients if I think that it can help you guys. But again, I don't do this YouTube channel because I'm trying to make money. I do personal injury cases, and that's how I make a living. I do this channel because I care about you guys, and I know that there's a vacuum, there's a hole that you guys just aren't getting good information. You're getting the law, but you're not getting the underpinnings of how it all works, the political side of the law. And I want you guys to stay safe. The last thing I want is you guys to end up getting thrown in jail and have no way out, or have your dog taken from you. I want you guys to start thinking. That's all. Anyways, make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to save, because we never know when the thought police are going to take down this channel. Semper Fi, do or die.